It's a really happy day in the centre of Birmingham.
Time, gentlemen, please. Lots of time. Because this is the world of 17 governors, 600 officers and 37 healthcare staff, all working in one of Britain's largest jails.
This is the bandit.
What, you're on happy pills?
Tonight, you're about to be banged up in Her Majesty's Prison, Birmingham, also known as Winson Green.
Apple a day keeps the doctor away.
What is a plural of crisis? Crisis is.
Most of us avoid prison at all costs, but these people have chosen to be locked up with some of the most dangerous crims in the country.
It's hard work working for the Queen, don't you think?
And Her Majesty has more inmates at her pleasure than ever before. So this is how the staff at Winson Green cope with being penned in for up to 14 hours a day, with 1,400 inmates including joyriders, murderers, drug dealers and sex offenders.
That's the prison.
A criminal by their very nature is never going to be the easiest person to deal with, so the officers and nurses at Winson Green have their work cut out on a daily basis.
It's the only excitement you get in there.
This is an institution where the most untrustworthy and unpredictable elements of society are put together. Over 70% of inmates have mental health or addiction problems, and their well-being is still paramount, despite being in prison. So, for the healthcare team and prison officers who look after the inmates and keep order, it's one hell of a tough gig.
It's a typical prison officer's stance. Because you can be viewing what's happening downstairs, but you're also watching what's happening around you as well. Yes, fellas? All right, I'll send him up.
Julie Turton is the prison's suicide prevention officer.
Stressing.
That's
it. Excellent.
Julie's in her 40s and brought up 4 kids before she joined the prison service 9 years ago. Her first 12 months on the job were a baptism of fire, dealing with 2 hangings and nearly 100 self-harm incidents.
I've had my moments, believe me. I've had my moments here, but nobody sees that. You've got to walk round and smile. Julie's always smiling, so Julie's always all right. Hello, sex god.
Birmingham hasn't seen a death in custody for 12 months, but if a prisoner really wants to commit suicide, he'll always find a way. So Julie's job is to try and second-guess the most vulnerable.
Oh, yeah? All right.
How you doing?
I'm all right. What's happened in here?
I just strip search.
You've just been searched?
Yep. So I'm just tidying my pad back up. Can I sit down on the chair?
Anything that you shouldn't have?
Nah.
No. Somebody just said you had your stereo took off you there?
Yeah.
Julie's known Patrick Bills for the past 4 years. A schizophrenic self-harmer, Bills also has 2 young children. He's been in and out of jail since he was a kid.
Took it off me. So could you go and have a word? Yeah.
Because I know the last time I seen you was after you had all your trouble on B-Wing.
Yeah, I set fire to my pad, didn't I?
That was the one, yeah. Was you feeling a bit cold that day, were you? He's a very difficult character. If you catch him on a good day like today, he's very talkative and he's very nice. You catch him on a bad day, and he's not so nice, and he'll come at you with knives, he'll come at you with anything.
I'm self-harmed for about, it's been a while now. It's been like a month and a half. I did this one, I did that one. I did the stitches out myself.
But it takes you, when you get in that state, it takes you a while to come back down and calm down again, don't it? Yeah. It's just a vicious circle,
Do you want a cup of tea?
No, I'm all right. I've just had a cup of coffee, thank you.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Do you smoke?
Also, I've got some fags in my pocket. You want a cigarette?
You sure?
Yeah. I'll give you one. I'm nearly finished, so I don't mind you having a cigarette. He comes across as an innocent chat, and to him he just thinks that somebody's concerned. But I can tell a lot of things because I know what he's like. He certainly looks clean, and I mean I've seen him in some states where he isn't as clean. So he's obviously looking after his own hygiene and everything, which is all a good sign.
I've got 2 kids out there.
Yeah. That's the thing, you don't want to keep coming backwards and forwards to here, do
I
you?
don't see them.
No.
Do you know what I mean? I want to get made sorted. Thank you
Nice
very
to
much.
see you again.
Yeah, it's nice to see
And
you.
you look a whole lot better than you did before, believe me.
Man, you look after yourself.
Yeah, and you. Bye.
Bye.
During a cell search, the officers confiscated Bill's stereo. He's asked Julie to try and get it back.
Mr. Bills has asked if I'd mentioned to you about his stereo that's been taken off.
The fact that he had two in his possession, you mean?
Didn't mention to.
No, exactly.
That's one for him.
He's not likely to mention the fact that there was two, is he?
No, exactly. Thank you.
That's my very good friend. And he always gives me trouble. After messing about that. You ready to step up? Or step out?
At 39, Percy Davidson's just got a promotion. He's a senior nurse managing part of the 37-strong healthcare team and the well-being of 1,400 prisoners. But it doesn't look like the word stress appears in Percy's dictionary.
We also offer things like acupuncture, also offer things like herbal teas.
Even when he's rushed off his feet, he's still laid right back.
I think you only have about 20 minutes to do it.
So the last thing he needs is prisoners playing up.
Can I help?
Apparently, you're the man who's going to fit Humphrey's catheter.
Prisoner Stuart Humphreys has an addiction to visiting the nurse. To get his fix of Percy, he keeps pulling out the catheter he's had fitted for his prostate problem, and Nursey isn't happy.
Humphrey, in Jesus' name, I warn you in front of the officer, in front of the crew, the next time you take it out,
Yeah.
I'm not putting the team back.
The Asian doctor took it out.
He said you take it out.
No, he took it out.
I'm not doing it again. What the hell wrong with you? Humphrey, I'm going to do the gel now.
Yo. You know.
Shut my blessed mouth now.
I'll translate. Be quiet.
Humphrey, keep that caca all quiet, I say.
I won't translate that bit for you.
Cut it out.
Stuart, does it hurt, mate?
What are you laughing at, Mr. Lemony?
I haven't laughed. I've said nothing. I've just asked if it hurts.
Right, I'm pushing in the catheter now.
This is the fourth time Percy's had to fit Humphreys with a new catheter.
Hey, if I could feel you over here, mate. And it ain't even me.
Right, it's successful. Humphrey, I'm warning you again. Do not. Listen to me in normal English now. I'm talking the Queen language now. Do not. Take it out.
Yeah.
Right. You okay now?
Yeah.
Lovely.
An hour to go.
41-year-old Glenys McIntosh has been a prison nurse for 3 years. A true Brummie, she's married with 3 children. Glenys is one of Percy's closest friends.
I'd much rather be on a Caribbean island. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? But I'm here in HMP Birmingham. It's still all right, the sun's shining.
A prisoner's called for help on B-Wing, which holds everyone from violent criminals to tax evaders. It's a real jamboree bag, with no sweeties. You never know what you're going to get.
He's a self-harmer, Purcell. He just cut his face.
Yeah, come on. We have to dress his face and all that. You have to get the bag and sort out the face.
They cut up. Neck, wrist, whatever. They cut up.
I'll take him down to be fair, just patch up his face for him.
That makes me feel really low, to know that a human being can do this to himself. You know what I mean? When we're about saving life then.
you know.
Self-mutilation can become an addiction too. Prisoner Peter Winnery is a frequent self-harmer, but this is the first time Glenys or Percy have had to deal with him.
What's the problem?
I'm depressed.
You're depressed?
Yeah.
Did you take your medication?
Yeah. I've tried to talk to a doctor. Well, what does a doctor do? Just
Yeah,
pushes
but
out
you
the
were
door.
saying you could have talked to somebody who was right there to support you.
I've talked to many people, but I don't want to know.
You've talked to me in the past, didn't you?
Well, no, I've got...
You know, so can I talk to you?
I don't wish to bring more problems onto them.
Huh?
I don't think they've got...
Yeah, but the SO and you just talk well.
Yeah, but I think they've got enough to do.
But you give us problem now.
So you finish with me now?
No, we have to sort out the face. Your face is there, we have to sort it out.
Pass me the red bag, Percy.
Alright, love, I'll give that now.
Has doing that made you feel any better at all?
In myself.
Does it help?
Yeah.
That admission probably means Percy and Glenys will have to patch Winnery up again before he's released.
Turning that way, you'll think you're piddling up the corner.
53-year-old Colin Underwood is one of the most senior officers in Winson Green.
God, I look gorgeous, don't I?
He's modest too, earning a top whack of $30,000 a year. One of his daily duties is to round up staff to line the labour route.
Thank you. 1, 2, 3. Will you stand still? I'm trying to bloody count you.
Every day, prisoners leave their cells to go to the workshops, earning up to £13 a week. That's £676 a year. So, crime really doesn't pay.
J. Oscar 1, instruct all Papa stations to send on their prisoners for labour.
With 500 prisoners on the loose, anything could happen, from punch-ups, or a full-blown riot, or...
Saw something the other night I haven't seen for a very long time. He was a prisoner coming into custody. Whether he was either drunk prior to coming, knowing he was coming in, 2, he'd taken some drugs, or 3, he was shit scared. He was vomiting all the way from reception to the CD link, and I haven't seen that for a long time. And I'd just mess myself if it was me. I wouldn't bother with the vomiting.
It's Colin's job to make sure the prisoners behave themselves en route to the workshops. And the prisoners know if they want to mess with Colin, they better be Flash Gordon.
Somebody called me Emperor Ming one day, or there's Ming the Merciless. Yeah, I think that was where it come from.
Go on, folks, have you a couple more, please?
It's certainly not true, because everyone knows I'm a very pleasant chap.
Go on, fella.
When he started in the prison service 29 years ago, it was a different world. Officers were hard nuts with a lock 'em up and shut 'em up approach.
Mick was the first prison officer I ever met.
Oh, that was scary.
He was the gate officer when I came to take my test.
And I bet he just opened the door and growled.
Mick, he was, what was he, 6'4", and he was he's a big man, but he was a big man muscle then. And in those he used to wear full uniform, cap, and like the flat peak was down here, and I'm sending me a letter. Thank you guys. And I knocked on the old gate, and he's actually was what the fuck do you want? And I was saying, well, I think I want to be a prison officer, and I'd never seen a prison or a prison officer in my life, and that was the first one I met was Michael.
These days, it's all changed.
Because now we've got the meet and greets, we've got on the film, I think we should have cuddle and greets or something like that. I think that could possibly go down.
Yeah, I think you should be the one giving them the cuddle though. Come to daddy!
I'm
getting a bit
An alarm's gone off on B Wing. Julie's regular, Patrick Bills, has shown the Mr. Hyde to his earlier Dr. Jekyll. He's supposed to be on heavy medication for his mental health problems, but Bills has refused to take his meds for 6 days. And today, the dam has finally burst. In a paranoid state, he's barricaded himself inside his cell and set fire to it.
To your feet slowly, slowly, slowly.
He was inside of the cell, obviously a bit of smoke inhalation. Officers have gone in and pulled him out, also smoke inhalation, but they don't appear to be that bad.
Take a second to sort it out there, okay? Right, ladies, put your arms through. That's it, arm through. Link that up, that's it. And just grab hold of his top shoulder. Yeah, nice and easy. That's on. That's it, nice and steady, yeah? Nice and steady.
It's important the officers restrain Bills to make sure he doesn't harm himself or them.
That's it, push yourself against the back.
Stay against the railings, it's easy for you.
Nearly down.
Keep your back to the last one.
Bills is taken to the segregation unit, where problem prisoners are kept away from other inmates.
I'll just go in and make sure he's got no injuries. That's my duty, to take care of the prisoners.
While Glenys takes care of Bills, Julie's concerned that this incident will go against him on his record. She wants it noted as a self-harm incident, but the officer who pulled him out of the fire thinks differently.
He harmed me, he endangered me.
Yeah, but it's an act of self-harm because he's endangered himself.
The class of self-fire now is an act of self-harm.
Self-harm, is it? Because he was in there. If nobody had gone in, he would have been the only one armed. It's still an act of self-harm, even though it's an act of damage.
Okay.
It's not the first time Bills has got himself into a mess. Julie's seen it all before.
I mean, I've sat down, I've had a cigarette with him, I've had a cup of tea with him, and he's chatted away, happy as Larry. The next day, he self-harms. And I could shake him. You feel like slapping him. You know, I feel like he's one of my kids. Why have you done it, you know?
It's not just prisoners who are vulnerable and need help. The suicide rate amongst prison officers is way above the national average.
When my friend committed suicide, I was absolutely devastated. Absolutely. I feel guilty that, even as close as we were, I feel guilty. I think, well, have I let this man down that he couldn't come and speak to me?
After losing his friend and colleague, Colin knows how this job can send even the strongest officer to the edge and beyond. 2 years ago, he joined the Winson Green Care Team, which offers support to staff in crisis.
Ian, you all right?
Not so bad.
I understand you was involved in an incident yesterday.
Yes.
Obviously, I've come over as care team to have a chat with you.
Prison officer Ian Allen has been assaulted by an aggressive prisoner and needs to talk about it and offload all the conflicting emotions.
I opened the door to have a chat with him, to try and calm him down and de-escalate it. Whereupon he came forward at Officer Alcock and tried to attack him. We then decided to take him down with CNR techniques and he elbowed him in the face.
Right, so is that the...
Amongst others, yes, and the big egg on the eye that has gone now.
Right. How are you feeling now?
Well, it was a shock, because we were trying to explain it to him and we were going about it as delicately as possible, and it come from nowhere. It was like massively unpredictable, which is just what this place is. I was livid, and that just incensed me. It's like, it doesn't matter what you do to try and help them out at times, they're just not interested. It makes you look at yourself and wonder what you've done wrong, or if there's any way you could have gone about the situation differently. You just got to carry on. And should you need some help, now I know that it's there, I can get it.
Yeah.
So this is
In the
what it's
segregation unit, Glenys goes to check up on Patrick Bills.
How are you, Bills? You okay? No. What's up?
Can I have a word with you, please?
Sure.
Can I have a chat with you?
Yeah.
Bills is back on his medication, but it can only achieve so much, and Glenys is in for a shock.
What's happening?
He's cut up again.
You done another one since?
I've done it about half an hour ago.
Oh my God. I'm here till 9 o'clock. If there's any problems, before you do anything rash, have a chat. It's good to talk, isn't it? Yeah? Yeah? Okay, what's my name?
Les McIntosh.
Okay, I'm here till 9 o'clock. Give me a call if you need me.
Thank you.
Until he can be trusted not to harm himself or others, Bills will have to be kept in segregation.
Sam, go and put the kettle on. I haven't had a coffee reception.
I'm busy.
Respect the ranking. You know how I like it. Don't spit in it.
Officers have to laugh when they can, as they're never far from the next incident. As suicide prevention officer, Julie has to keep a close eye on her prisoners.
Is this your first time in prison? Never been in before?
Most deaths in custody happen at the start of a sentence, when new prisoners are at their most vulnerable and confused. So Julie's set up an insider scheme where old inmates pass on survival tips to the new boys.
You get a breakfast pack and so we'll give you.
She's always on the lookout for recruits, and she thinks Dexter Tarr has what it takes.
I had a cup of coffee somewhere.
What's that?
There's a thief in here.
Tarr's an old hand at the prison game. He's on his second sentence. He's an agoraphobic who's kept himself to himself, but Julie thinks he'd make a good insider.
Hello. Take a seat in my makeshift office. Right then, I'm going to ask you something, just a question. If the answer's no, don't worry about it. Since you've been on here as a cleaner, you've been doing a good job. All the officers have said how well you work. Harris is one of the insiders.
Yeah.
He's asked if he can move on. He wants to transfer on. So obviously I've got to look for somebody to fill his shoes, so to speak. And I wondered whether you'd be interested in having the job.
Yeah, I'll do it.
You've settled in and you've got yourself quite comfortable here, haven't you now?
Yeah.
It gives you something extra to do. And you're helping the new people come in at the same time, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? All right then?
Yeah.
Look where I've got.
Oh,
Got a show for you there, look.
Thinking of me.
Yeah, because it's hot to wear that sweatshirt.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
All right, thanks, miss.
All set with his natty new uniform, Tarr gets thrown straight in with his first inmate.
You'll get used to it in here. It takes a couple of days to get into it, but it's like a routine. Once you've got into that routine, it's like an everyday thing. It's automatic. You're like autopilot. You know everything. You know when your door's going to be open, what your door's going to be open for, and all that. It's easy to get into. But it doesn't matter how many times you've been to jail. Like it's your first time, but everybody has the same feeling when they come back into jail after a while. It's like, oh no, what is people going to be like in it? 'Cause it's always different people in jail all the time. You get some nutcases in jail, but it's very rare you get them now. All right, we'll ask for a listen. Okay.
How you gone? How did you think it was?
Oh, it's easy.
It can be nerve-wracking sometimes, though, speaking to people that you don't know, can't it?
It can be, but it depends. When you see they're scared and that,
you find it easier
I find
then?
it easier to talk to.
And you've enjoyed it?
We've all been in the same boat, haven't we?
Exactly. That's why it's so good for you doing the role. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, miss.
Shoot her.
That's some medication.
It'll just take a couple of days to sort that.
On top of all his other daily duties, Percy hands out medication to prisoners who are sick. He's a walking pharmacy, juggling pills for everything from epileptic fits to headaches.
Is the headache going with this? Where exactly?
Hello, Percy. Hello, I'm fine, how are you? Having a busy day?
Yeah.
Good stuff. Not busy, you're on the bum with it. This woman's busy.
You think so?
She's a woman, she must be.
Julie's fooled by Percy's laid-back attitude, but despite appearances, he's rushed off his feet. There's 19 nurses at Winson Green looking after 1,400 inmates, and as a senior nurse, Percy has the unenviable task of making sure every shift is covered. So he juggles pills and people.
I think 2 people off sick. So therefore, he lead me to put my hands in and get things going. So I'm just trying to make sure that all the areas covered right now.
Right, so I put that on top of there.
Hoping to ease the pressure, Percy's employed a new nurse, Daryl Seeley. He's been here for 6 weeks, and he's still trying to find his way around the maze of prison routines.
I'll be out there, and if you think you're unhappy or you're not sure, you just could give me a little shout out.
1,400 prisoners, heaven knows how many pills. Getting the right meds for the right inmates is like playing Sudoku in the dark.
Yeah, what's your name?
Daily.
Daily?
Daily.
Daily? I can't remember actually highlighting you in a Daily.
New boy Daryl's a prime target for crafty inmates to confuse him in the hope of getting extra drugs.
Next. Where are you having this pain?
My legs.
Right, and how long have you been having this pain?
I've been having it for years. I was stabbed in the legs running.
Right. And you think if I give you some paracetamol, that will help? If you have been having...
I want the paracetamol because I'm getting a flu.
So what exactly do you want me to give you now?
Paracetamol.
So you want some paracetamol?
Yes, please.
And what that will be for? That will be for the pain?
Yeah, for the pain, and plus I'm getting a flu. Paracetamol helps the flu, doesn't it?
Yes, but basically, if you're getting the flu, you might want to see the doctor. Put in a request for that.
It'll take me about 2 months to see the doctor. Every time I put in to see the doctor, it takes me a long time.
Right.
The doctor don't just see you here. You have to wait for months in here in the doctor. There's 1,400 prisoners in there.
Right. Okay then.
How's he doing?
Good. His understanding is getting on there.
Slowly but surely.
That's right. Well, there where you're there, you have to go.
But to be of any use to Percy, Daryl will have to make the grade.
How do you, Mr. Underwood?
Morning.
All right. Hello, young lady.
What's happening, Mr. You?
Not too much. Busy?
For Colin, prison's a family affair. 2 years ago, he tempted his stepdaughter, Subira, into the service. She works in the records department.
Yeah. All right, guys.
How are you doing? You all right?
Yes. Your mother's phone. We had a chat. She's invited herself over for lunch.
To whose house?
No. Today.
Coming to yours?
No, she's coming over here.
Okay. Oh, dinner time?
Yeah.
What time?
Are you going over?
I don't usually, but what time should come in?
About 12.
Yeah, I'll come over then. Over the mess?
Yeah. I'll come over.
No, you won't.
I think your mother's plan is that you're paying.
Is it? I'll stay here then.
And if these get back a bit earlier, you can get there a bit earlier, Mr. Lloyd.
We'll try our best as quick as we can.
Okay. We know you don't do too much in the gym. Aaron, we can see that you work out, but you know, Chris, I think, just comes down to share the showers with you.
Share the showers with you.
Mr. Underwood, you get changed in your sweating buckets already just from getting changed.
That's because this body's a temple. Remember, it's a temple, not a ruin, mate. All right then. I'll see you later.
Have a nice day.
All right.
They look quite good, don't they? How's this?
Spicy cabbage.
Spicy cabbage. Shit. Fish with gravy.
That's usually late.
No, but it seems late today.
Yeah, because you was going to be late anyway.
I wasn't.
You was.
It's not the world's greatest chat-up line. Fancy lunch in prison? But Colin's wife Sharon, a local nurse, knows the score. They've been together for 8 years.
Come on then.
Let's have some dinner.
When we actually first met, we met at the Tower Ballroom.
I thought he was a member of the National Front because he looks very... No, you shouldn't stereotype, but as a race we do stereotype people. Yeah, he did do. but he's not really.
You remember that first time Carl Worley met you, didn't he? 'Cause Carl was a governor here, knew I was seeing Sharon, but he couldn't believe when he walked in. He says, "How can you be going out with such a beautiful woman?" He was absolutely gobsmacked. I said, "Well, also because I'm a good-looking bloke."
I think you are.
So do I think I am as well.
I think you are. You're lovely, really, aren't you? When we first met and we first lived together, if an incident had happened at work, Colin would come in and like sort of stomp about the place, which I totally and utterly disagreed with. I sat him down and I said, if there is something wrong or you've had a bad day, let's talk about it and let's hear our problems. Don't walk around huffing and puffing because you'll suffer with high blood pressure. You're a prison officer at work and you're a husband and a father at home. And that's the way it should be.
But it's not always easy or that simple
I can appreciate that,
to take the one out of the equation, is it?
But you've got somebody you could speak to and offload onto, really. So
I have now and I accept it.
I believe I've made a good decision.
And I believe you've made a good decision.
Picked well.
I'll go with that one, won't I?
Twice a day, a new bunch of inmates arrive fresh from court.
Okay.
Their life in the outside world is about to become just a memory. They pass through reception, where their details are recorded and their personal belongings, including photographs, are confiscated and searched. The nurses are there to assess the prisoner's medical needs. 85% of inmates have existing addiction problems, and forced cold turkey is about to begin. So Percy and Glenys have to decide the best way to get them through it.
So how are you today?
Got the DTs, that's all.
The DTs?
Yeah.
You're detoxing for alcohol?
Yeah, I'm an alcoholic.
Okay, can I ask how old you are?
28.
You only use heroin. Where do you inject?
Right, can you tell me how much alcohol you drink?
Time I wake up to the time I go to sleep.
You're taking heroin 80 pounds per day and crack 30 milligrams.
Yeah.
Still using drugs? Do you drink plenty alcohol?
Yeah, I do like my beer.
Every day you drink alcohol?
I drink beer every day.
How many?
12 cans of Tennant Super.
Say it again?
12 cans of Tennant Super.
Yeah, but Jonesy, 12 cans is plenty of money, you know.
I know it is.
And then because they're also suffering
with
epilepsy.
But I don't mix alcohol with them.
Beer is no longer an option. Paul Jones was in Winson Green 5 years ago, and he's back, pending a court appearance next week.
What you in for? Sorry about that.
At the moment, I'm on remand for a fray, carrying a weapon, getting into petrol bomb people's houses.
Why, Jonesy? Tell me why you're doing that.
Because I've been under too much drink and too much pressure by my partner.
How you feeling now? How you really?
At the moment,
yeah.
I feel like punching something.
You feel like punching something?
Something. I didn't say a person. I just feel like punching something, like a punch bag or something, to take my anger out.
Okay.
But it's my own fault. I'm here.
Yeah. Remember, we are here to help you diffuse that anger.
Yeah.
You have to take care of yourself. Remember, this is one life.
All I've got to think of is one person. I don't think of myself first.
You better start loving yourself,
Jonesy. The only one
Jonesy.
person I think of is in that picture, and I want
Okay. So is the person in the picture?
In that picture, she's 19 months old. It's my youngest kid.
Okay. Well, then you have a reason to live for.
Yeah, I have got a reason.
So therefore,
that reason I have.
Exactly. So therefore,
stop taking my medication. Cut down on my alcohol.
Thank you. Any human will get fed up, seeing somebody coming over and over again. But you must give them back the service. You never give up, because sometimes it's parents that give up on them, peer group have given up on them. That's why they're like this. So they're coming now for help. You have to say, yes, I will take you up again. Forgive and continue the journey again.
All prisoners are allowed to keep some of their possessions. In his 30s with 4 kids, Jones gets his photos back.
Okay. Is this
the longest one?
Okay.
This is the only one I want.
That's fine, you can keep those a lot in your pocket. You want to save story now?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, no problem. There's no first
That's the only one I really wanted.
Okay, no problem. Alright then, so.
Yeah, thank you. The worst part for me is my daughter. Because she's only 19 months, and if I'm locked up for her birthday, I don't know what I'll do. I don't want to be here, but at the end of the day, I did the time. I did the crime, you do the time. That's the way I say it. I done it. If I'm here, I do my time, get my head down, keep myself to myself. If I get a job, I get a job in here. If I don't, just lie on my bed and just lie there until my sentence is over. And have me dinners and my breakfast and all that. Same time as everybody else.
Morning, gentlemen. Everything cool?
Like all staff, there's never time to rest for Glenys. Along with running to alarm bells and treating prisoners' coughs and colds, she's also in charge of the hepatitis clinic.
Weather's changed. Occupational hazard in a jail, I'm afraid.
The staff have to sort out their own vaccinations, but the prisoners get their jabs for free. Well, it's one perk.
She came in August. I'll put this up here. Right, this is some information about hepatitis B. Yeah?
Yeah.
I need you to consent, so that means you're giving me permission to do
Wayne Mercer is new to prison life. He might be a hard man outside, but in here, a little prick is too much to bear.
If you have a problem with it, look away. Because the worst thing that could happen is that you faint. Because then I'll have to label you that you've got a yellow streak running down the back.
What's that mean?
Come on now. If you faint on me, what does that mean? Right. Not good for your rep in here, is it?
I don't care about no rep. I'm just gonna go home. Oh shit.
It's not the whole of the needle, don't be afraid. I feel a little scratch in here now. Right, the needle's in. Relax. Relax, the needle's in. You're not going to feel another prick now. And you're bleeding.
Thanks, miss.
You take care.
Come on.
It looks like any normal doctor's surgery. But here the nurses are under constant pressure. The patients could turn nasty at any second.
Was it last week or the week before I was told? I'm going to spit in your face, nurse. Is what the one inmate says on that wing out there. I says, hold on a minute, I'm coming round for you to spit in my face. I'm coming round. You know, I was just shocked. You're going to spit in my face? I said, let me just explain something to you. Culturally, you spit in my face. It's not going to go down very well because you only spit on something you disregard. You know what I mean? So that was an insult in the first place. Do you still have one of these cards?
I think I lost it.
Let me tell you, you won't be getting another. Yeah?
Yeah.
So the
what
third one...
time shall I keep it for the rest of my life or take it to my grave?
The nurses are conscious that the prisoners' looks can be deceiving. Glenys's next patient, Abdullah, is no pacifist. This mild-looking man has a string of asbos.
Abdullah, please.
I'll have to close my eyes. Okay, go on, please.
Right. Just relax. You've had two already. I didn't hurt you then, did I?
No.
Right.
Okay,
the needle's in.
No, it's in.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks.
All right. I'm going to remove the needle now.
Yeah.
Finish with you then.
Right,
And I'll see you around.
Thanks.
All right.
Cheers.
Suicide Prevention Officer Julie comes to take Paul Jones over to the First Night Centre. It's a smaller, friendlier wing where new prisoners spend a couple of nights getting eased into the prison routine.
So what are you doing back with us?
Of course, I kicked off again. I'm back at court Monday.
Did you get through that way, Sam, dear? Yeah. Oh, we'll go this way then. I never normally go this way.
Oh, I didn't. I thought it was that way.
Normally is. It's the secret way. So you haven't been on D-Wing then on the First Night Centre? See, it's all different.
It's all changed, that's what I'm on about. It's all like, you can't do it.
Oh, it's all nicey nice. It is, it's lovely.
Kettle now, isn't it?
Kettle, TV.
Even for a prisoner like Jones, who's been inside twice before, the start of a sentence is often the scariest time. 1 in 10 deaths in custody happen within 24 hours of arriving in prison.
In a minute.